Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm going to talk you through a process that I've been doing for the last 30 days, which is 5k every day on the treadmill. Day 2 of the treadmill challenge is day 3 of the treadmill challenge. Okay, so it is day 4, day 5. We've got it done. Day 7, day 8, day 11. Okay guys, day 12, Monday 6th of April. Day 13, done. We're exactly halfway through. It is 7:40, just finished. I think we're on day 16, I'll have to check. We've just ran the furthest I've ran, probably ever. I moved the treadmill outside. Day 17, Tuesday, 14th of April. I'm a little disappointed today. When I was crossing the line, but I got 22 minutes today. Potentially my fastest time yet. Tuesday, 21st of April. Wednesday, 22nd, just done run around the block in 26 minutes. I had to bump it up from 15 to 16 for the last 45 seconds. And if I hadn't have done that. So, the reason I decided to do this was because at the start of lockdown, obviously all the gyms closed. We didn't really have that many different types of weights, barbells and that type of stuff around the house. So I decided now is a perfect opportunity to pick up a new habit, a new hobby, and try something new. I have never ever been a runner. Even when I used to play football, I was very lazy, and whenever we were doing cross country and stuff like that in school, I always kind of hid in the bushes away from the PE teacher. I've never ever been a runner. Okay, so I have made a few notes. I was writing down notes like pretty much every single day and recording like a video every single day to document the whole process and to be able to explain to you better about things that I've learned along the way. So you might be wondering, Louis, why did you use the treadmill rather than running outdoors? Well, first start, the area that we live in with Francis' mum and dad is very, very hilly. The treadmill is also in the garage, so there's really no excuse whatsoever not to get it done every single day. Another thing is less chance of injury. It's a lot easier on the bones, it's a lot easier on the body, and people will argue that it's easier altogether because the treadmill's kind of doing some of the running for you, but it's a lot easier to measure speed, pace. We're taking out all the variables. The treadmill's going to pace for me. Again, as a beginner, I wanted to make the challenge enjoyable. I didn't want to be suffering every single day. I knew that running every day would already be a challenge for me, so I didn't really want to push it too far and therefore not complete the challenge. Okay, so the start date was Tuesday 24th of March and the end date was Sunday 26th of April. You're probably thinking, Louis, what the hell, that was like 2 months ago, but I'll explain the reason for why this video has took so long to come out later on in the video. The reason I tell you the dates, well, there is no real reason. I did run for 30 days, 5k minimum, but I did have a few rest days in between. I think I had in total probably 3 or 4 rest days. And whenever you're doing a 30-day challenge, whether it's on the bike, whether it's swimming, whether it's climbing mountains, you do need to incorporate those rest days because otherwise you're gonna get injured, you're gonna slow yourself down, and you're not gonna progress. And the whole point of the 30-day challenge is to progress in all ways of life. So if you're getting injured, you're gonna fail the challenge, you're gonna be down about that, and you're probably gonna get an injury, which is just pointless. So I didn't really set rest days. I just listened to my body and decided when was best to rest and when I really needed to. But I think it was only 3 or 4 in total, and I did run exactly for 30 days. Okay, so now I'm gonna break down what happened in each of the weeks. Obviously those 4 weeks that I was running. So week 1 was really just about getting it done, kind of trying to create a habit, make sure that if I hadn't done it in the morning, I was setting aside a time at night or in the afternoon that I would know that I was definitely going to get it done. And I would come in here, it was freezing at the time, put my hoodie on and just kind of sweat it out, grind it out, and it was not an enjoyable process and it was very difficult. Week 2 was more about enjoying the process. It was getting easier. It was getting easier to come outside, get on the treadmill and just enjoy it. I was definitely getting fitter, my heart rate was going down and I was finding it much easier, and I felt in week 2 that I was starting to kind of improve on my time, and I was like, right, running 5k now in 30 minutes is fairly easy. Week 3 was when I decided to kind of incorporate a new goal, which is what this video is really about. I decided I'm going to try and run 5k as fast as I possibly can. So what I did was I watched a load of different YouTube videos, I've discovered a load of different running channels, and as you can see I was becoming very enthusiastic about running, which is why I was searching it so much on YouTube. And a lot of people always try and aim in their running career to try and get a below 20-minute 5k time. So that was my goal for the end of the 1 month. Okay, so of course setting a new goal meant that I had to plan ahead. I had to decide which days I was going to push and which days I was going to kind of do an active recovery. And I decided, well, let's just see what I've got in the tank. And one of the days in week 3, I decided to go all out and run as fast as I possibly could, 5k. I did it in 21 minutes, which I was ecstatic about. I was absolutely exhausted. I thought I was possibly gonna die, but my legs were still quite fresh in the grand scheme of things, so I was very, very happy with that. And that kind of led me on to believe that I've got a week left, I can push myself harder, I can push myself further, and I can get this under 20-minute 5k time. So this leads on to week 4. Week 4, it was very, very important which days I decided to push myself and rest. I didn't take any rest days whatsoever on week 4. It was more so just active recoveries, and me and Francis even went outside and did a little bit of road running just to kind of change things up. That's kind of how the weeks progress, and of course it's very important to progress as the weeks go on, and if something's getting easier, push it a little bit further. Okay, so this leads to my personal best effort, and to be honest, this was literally nerve-wracking for me. I've never felt butterflies in my stomach like this before, ever in my life. I knew that this whole video now relied on me getting an under 20-minute 5k time, and I decided I'm gonna program almost everything: what time I wake up, what type of stretches I do, I'm gonna choose when to eat, when to go to the toilet, all of this stuff, and I was really trying to think about it. I did jot down a few notes immediately after the PB effort, and I did record a video where I was exhausted and I was just chatting crap, but I'll put all of that in. And I recorded the whole video of me running the personal best effort. So for me it was all about pacing. I had calculated, obviously got all the numbers up the treadmill on the side in kilometers an hour, and I had been used to running like at 10 for 30 minutes, and if I really wanted to push it I was going up to 12 and 14 just to shorten the time and shorten the process. So I knew that I had to run at 15 kilometers an hour for 20 minutes, no stops. I also knew that it takes a little while for the treadmill to get up to 15 kilometers an hour. It doesn't just go as soon as I press 15, it's not just suddenly at 15 kilometers an hour. It may take 40 or 45 seconds. So I had calculated for that, allowed for that, and I knew that no matter what, I was going to have to press 16 at some point throughout the run, just to kind of speed it up and get under that 20-minute mark. I think I had about 2 minutes left, and I decided to press 16 and just go for it and see what I could do. I was absolutely exhausted. Honestly, I would say it was probably the closest I've ever been to death. I would say my heart rate was through the roof. I believe I didn't even wear my watch because I didn't want anything on my wrists. I just wanted to feel free and ready to move. And obviously I had the camera recording the whole thing anyway. I was so close to being sick. Right at the very end, that close to being sick. You literally would not believe it. You would not believe that. So, 16, I pressed it earlier than what I should, so I was then gonna get under the 20-minute mark. And literally I was running and running and running, and I could see we were getting closer and closer to the 20-minute mark, and we were eating up the miles, but not fast enough. And literally as soon as 20 minutes came, we hit 5k. So I actually didn't get an under 20-minute 5k, but I did get a 20-minute 5k, so that's all that really counts. So I was very happy with that, and I had shaved off like 10 minutes of my time, which for me was the biggest deal by far. But had I left it and not pressed 16 earlier than what I had thought, we would not have hit the goal. So I know I'm not looking the best right now, because that is probably the most I've exhausted myself in my entire life. Seriously guys, that is the hardest I've ever pushed myself in anything ever. At the grand age of 26 years old, nearly 27, and that's the hardest I've ever pushed myself by far. Those last 10 seconds, I just thought I was gonna potentially die after that. So again, obviously I don't recommend pushing yourself to exhaustion. So yeah, what an adventure it's been. 30 days of running. Never in my life did I think I would do that. And to be honest, I have little to no experience running at all. I think probably when I was like 12 years old, I ran a 5-mile charity run in Newcastle, Greg's charity run, and that was unbelievably hard. No training for that, never ran again after that. That was a real challenge for me, and I am really proud of myself. I'm sure you've seen in previous videos I was doing a little bit of running when I was in Dubai with Mike, but again, I was cheating myself. I was running like 3k, maybe 4k, I think more 3k, and it was taking half an hour, 40 minutes, and I was taking cheeky little stops in between. So I've never ever really up until then ran 5k without stopping. So day one was, I believe, 5k in 30 minutes, maybe just over 30 minutes without stopping, which to me was a challenge. It really was a challenge. So to get from that to 20-minute 5k, 10 minutes, shave 10 minutes off my 5k time, is really quite unbelievable, and I'm so happy. Obviously I would have liked it to be in 1959, but what difference does that make? But again, I think not doing any weights, not being in the gym every day has really helped me with the running, because I would just be too exhausted and too fatigued. I've literally been doing no weightlifting at all during these 30 days, so that has really helped. And actually, I hate to say it, so many of my bros are gonna hate me for this, but I've been enjoying running way more than going to the gym. I feel way better after a run than I do after the gym. So I think what's gonna happen after this is I'm gonna continue with the running and hopefully run 5-6 times a week, 5k at least, and try and just advance my running, work on technique. I'm going to start doing a little bit of drill work. A few people have reached out to me on Instagram saying that they could offer me running programs and plans and stuff, so I would be interested in doing some of them, and just continue to run, continue to go a little bit further distance wise, maybe 10k, and of course again try and beat that 5k time. Maybe next month, maybe in another 2 months. But yeah, wow, I feel great. And what a good video this was to make. I do think just videoing yourself every day, pushing yourself, saying that you're going to put something out there, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's in a little blog, and saying I'm going to do 30 days of this, or 6 weeks of eating vegan, or whatever it is, and just saying that you're going to do it, putting out there to the people first. They're going to hold you accountable, you're going to hold yourself accountable, and you don't want to let people down, and most of all, you don't want to let yourself down. So again, that was a really great challenge for me. Okay, to end the video, I'm going to talk you through some of the positives and negatives and some recommendations. So the positives were there were no injuries whatsoever. A new habit was definitely formed. I became addicted to running as soon as the challenge was finished, and in fact throughout the challenge. Apparently it takes 21 days to form a habit, so if you are going to do something, record it every day, do it for 30 days, and I guarantee that it'll be very hard for you to give up that new habit or hobby. I became obsessed with running and bettering myself. It was good for my mental health, and I was achieving a goal every single day. I was getting better every single day. I was burning 400 to 500 calories every day, and I was hitting my step count every day. As long as I did a run and a walk around the block. So I was feeling really, really good mentally, and a lot stronger mentally, especially considering we were in the middle of a lockdown. We weren't really allowed to leave the house. That's another reason. What I forgot to mention, the whole purpose was I was running on the treadmill because you were only allowed out for one piece of exercise a day at the time, and me and Francis often wanted to go for a walk rather than use my run up around the block, because that would have been the one piece of exercise used up. So that's another reason why I used the treadmill. Another positive, it only took 30 minutes or less, so you can always squeeze in half an hour into your day. Obviously you need a shower after it. That's definitely important. Final positive, I'm sure there's many more positives, I just haven't thought of them to write them down, but obviously my cardio system became a lot more efficient, my heart was getting stronger, my lungs were allowing more oxygen, more red blood cells created. All of the positives that come with doing cardiovascular exercise were obviously helping me become a more healthy human. The negatives were, after running on the treadmill, me and Francis decided to start going out road running and running on the dirt tracks, running around the coast and stuff like that. And straight after doing the 5k effort, I think we went and did 10k. After that we did 12k, after that we did 14k, and after that we did 15k, and we were just loving running. It was like we were coming home and feeling the most amazing ever. Although exhausted, we were just feeling the best ever. And shortly after that I developed shin splints. Now there's a number of reasons for this. One, I didn't actually have a pair of running shoes, and I was using Ultra Boost on the treadmill and a pair of Nike trainers, and the Nike trainers were too small, the Ultra Boost were too worn out. So as soon as I was done on the treadmill and used to the treadmill, we went out onto the road, and all of a sudden everything was kind of starting to hurt, increased mileage. Obviously the road's a lot harder on the whole body, and then trainers. When I started Googling, looking things up, trainers are a big deal. So you will wear your trainers out after 200, 300 miles, so just be aware of that. Another negative, 5k became too easy, so I just wanted to run more than 5k. I felt like doing 5k was no longer enough. That's the kind of a problem with any form of progression. I began to push myself too hard, like I said, running, doing 10k and then 15k, and I maybe created bad running habits. So the whole time during the 30 days I wasn't really concerned about how my foot was landing on the floor, the position of my hips, the position of my upper body, my breathing. I wasn't really taking any of that into consideration. I was just trying to get it done. So I probably did form some bad habits, which is why I got injured when I started to increase the distance. I wasn't able to do any of the workouts, not that I was able to go to the gym anyway because it was closed, but had I had been doing this challenge, I definitely wouldn't have been able to go and do weights and do leg workouts and all that type of stuff. It would have just been too much of my body, and it would actually put my running form off. You need to be loose, you need to not have any tight muscles, otherwise again it's going to be a lot more difficult. So I wouldn't recommend doing a weightlifting program and trying to do something new like running or cycling. Your body needs to be fresh and like malleable. I didn't manage my time very well. There were times where I was getting on the treadmill at 11 o'clock at night just to get it done before 12 o'clock, and I think that had I organised my time better and done the run maybe at the same time every morning or the same time every evening, it probably would have been a little bit easier. This is a negative, it could be a negative, but for me it's a positive. It forced me into stretching, foam rolling, using the massage gun, all of that stuff. I had never really done any of that before, but I realised how important it was doing this challenge. And finally, another negative, again, it's all kind of related to injury and injury prevention. You have to be aware of when to take a day off. When is your body telling you, I'm going under too much stress? And then you have to listen to it and say, right, tomorrow I'm taking a day off, and don't feel bad about taking a day off. The final thing, this is kind of just a recommendation, is to make sure that you're comfy. So you're wearing nice running clothes, good socks, good trainers, good shorts, no top, a light vest. You need to be able to run. You can't be wearing like big heavy coats and woolly hats and thick ski socks. Like, it's just going to be unenjoyable. You need to make sure you eat at least 2 hours before. Some days I was eating an hour before and that was fine, but if you eat 2 hours before and then go on the treadmill, you'll feel a lot better. And a very important thing, you need to make sure you've been to the toilet before you go on a run, because you don't want to get caught short, especially if you're doing a 10k. You could be anywhere, and trust me, running kind of gets the bowels moving a lot, so do make sure you try and go to the toilet before you go for your run. And I think that is pretty much everything. Conclusion, would I do it again? Yeah, I'd do it again, but I've been incorporating a few other things whilst I was injured with the shin splints. I was told not to do any running at all, otherwise it was never going to get better. So I started going out road cycling. I've really been enjoying doing that, so I'm going to tell you more about that in another video. And I've also been doing a bit of swimming, so who knows, maybe one day triathlon, however you say it, could be on the cards. But I've really just been enjoying doing cardio. It's like my new favourite thing, and I don't even know if I'm going to go back to weights. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I hope this video has helped you and inspired you, encouraged you and motivated you. Trust me, if I can do running every day for 30 days, there is absolutely no reason why you can't. I know a lot of people were doing the couch to 5k challenge. Maybe start that, but definitely get out running, and I guarantee you, you will feel the best you have ever felt in your life. And also, a starting place for most people would be trying to run maybe 5k in 30 to 35 minutes. That's definitely a good starting point. And don't feel embarrassed if you need to stop when you're out on the road. If you do need to stop, catch your breath, get rid of your stitch. Don't be afraid to do it. So, obviously, any more questions, comment down below and I'll be happy to help you out. But this has probably been one of my favourite videos ever to record, so I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.